All right, let's just dive right in. We are about to crack open the code behind the most dominant competitors on the planet, all based on Tim Grover's legendary book, Relentless. Now, I want you to forget everything you've been told about balance, about being nice, about playing fair. Consider this a warning. What you're about to hear might just shatter everything you thought you knew about success.
You've been sold a lie your whole life. Society tells you, be a good person, be a team player, find balance. And you think, yeah, that sounds like the right path. But you know what? It's the biggest trap there is. Following that advice might make you good. It might even make you great. But it will never, ever make you unstoppable.
So here's our playbook for today. First, we're going to tear down why being good is actually your biggest enemy. Then, we'll figure out which type of performer you really are. After that, we unleash a power you've been taught to bury your whole life. We'll learn the unbreakable rules of dominance, face the brutal cost of that power, and then, well, then it comes down to a choice that only you can make.
Okay, so let's start with that first big idea. Good is not enough. This desire to be good, to be nice, is probably the single biggest wall between you and whatever your ultimate goal is. Think about it. Good is safe. Good is comfortable. Good gets you a nice pat on the back. But good never, ever changes the game. Good settles. The unstoppable, they never do. According to Grover, in any high-stakes field, there are really only three kinds of people. And this isn't just about sports. We're talking business, medicine, art, you name it, any place where excellence is just the price of admission. So, as we go through these, I want you to be brutally honest with yourself and ask, which one am I? So first up, you have the cooler. They're reliable, you give them a job, they do it. They do what they're told, solid. Then you step it up to the closer. These are the people who live for the pressure. They want the ball when the game is on the line. Most of the legends you admire, they're closers. But then there's a whole other level, the cleaner. See, a cleaner doesn't just deliver a result, they own it. For them, winning isn't a goal, it's an addiction. It's like breathing, and they are never, ever satisfied with yesterday's win.
And this is the perfect example of the difference. The famous flu game. Michael Jordan could barely even stand up. A cooler would have stayed home, no question. A closer, and Jordan was definitely a closer. He plays through it, he guts it out, and he wills his team to a win. But a cleaner's mindset is different. He didn't just play in spite of the fever. He used it. He weaponized it to send a message to the entire world that said, even on my worst day when I'm sick as a dog, I am still better than you will ever be on your best day. That is a cleaner.
Okay, now we're getting to the part that makes people uncomfortable. We're taught our entire lives to suppress our anger, to control our intensity, to be civilized. Grover says that is the single biggest mistake you can make. You are caging your most powerful weapon.
And let's be crystal clear here. The dark side is not about being evil. Not at all. It's that primal, instinctual part of you that isn't afraid of anything. It doesn't doubt itself. It doesn't get distracted. When you tap into it, there is only one thing, the mission, the hunt. It's pure, raw, uncut focus.
Just think about a heart surgeon in the middle of a marathon, 12-hour surgery. In that operating room, he can't be thinking about his kid's soccer game or his mortgage payment. He has to tap into his dark side. He becomes a cleaner, where the only thing that exists in the entire universe is the rhythm of that patient's heart. Everything else just disappears. And only when it's over can he become a husband and a father again.
So here's the absolute key. This is not about being some out-of-control monster. It's the opposite. It's about total control. A cleaner isn't a slave to this energy. They are its master. They have a switch. They know exactly when to flip it on to achieve the impossible, and, just as important, they know when to flip it off when the job is done. It is controlled chaos.
So how do you actually harness this power? Well, it's not random. It runs on an operating system, a set of unbreakable rules. And these aren't just helpful tips. For a cleaner, these are the laws of their universe. This is the code. Rule number 1. Pressure is a privilege. Most people feel pressure and they start to crack. A cleaner does the exact opposite. They go looking for it. Why? Because pressure is just proof that what you're doing actually matters. The stakes are high. Kobe Bryant didn't just put up with having the game in his hands in the final seconds. He lived his entire life for that one single crushing moment.
And that leads right into rule number 2. You do not need anyone's approval. A cooler wants their boss to like them. A closer wants the roar of the crowd. A cleaner, they only need approval from the person in the mirror. They have zero interest in being liked. They demand your respect, and you know what? If they can't get that, they will gladly take your fear. Think of Steve Jobs. Was he worried about being popular at the office? No, he was obsessed with building the perfect product, and he didn't care who he had to push to get.
Next up, Rule 3. Stop thinking, just do. When it's time to perform, when the lights are on, thinking is just a symptom of fear. It means you don't trust your preparation. A cleaner has put in so many thousands of hours of obsessive practice that their body just knows what to do. An F1 driver screaming around a corner at 300 kilometers an hour isn't thinking, I should brake now. It just happens. In the zone, thinking is way too slow.
And finally, the foundation that holds all of this up: no excuses ever. I didn't have enough time. The conditions weren't right. I got unlucky. All of that is just noise. They are comfortable lies you tell yourself so your ego doesn't get bruised. A cleaner accepts none of them. They take absolute 100% ownership of the outcome, period. I mean, look at someone like David Goggins. The man had 1,000 legitimate excuses to fail, but he used 0 of them. He just owned his situation and went to work.
So you hear all of this, and it sounds amazing, right? This power, this focus, it's intoxicating. But hang on, nothing this powerful is free. And the price for being relentless is incredibly high. This is the part of the story everyone wants to skip over. We're not going to do that.
Let that one sink in. Work-life balance. That thing everyone is chasing, Grover says it's a beautiful story. It's a wonderful goal for good people and great people. But for the unstoppable, it's a complete myth. Because to get extraordinary results, you need an extraordinary and deeply imbalanced level of focus.
So what's on the chopping block? Well, pretty much everything else. Your social life, your hobbies, sometimes even your relationships. For sure your sleep, and every last bit of comfort you have. To be truly obsessed with one thing, you have to be willing to let other things go. It's a trade. You have to decide if it's one you're willing to make.
And this isn't just a theory. Kobe Bryant paid this price every single day. He was in the gym at 4 a.m. while his competition was still dreaming. He said no to parties so he could say yes to more practice. Was his life balanced? No way. But he was willing to make that trade to become one of the greatest of all time. That's the deal.
So, we've walked through the mindset, the rules, and the brutal cost. But here's the most important thing Grover makes clear. This isn't a checklist. This is not a self-help program. It's not something you do. It's who you are.
Think of this whole idea less like a roadmap and more like a mirror. You hold it up to yourself, and you either see a reflection of who you are deep down, or you don't. You can't decide to be a cleaner on Tuesday and take Wednesday off. It is a full-time, all-consuming identity, and you absolutely cannot fake it. And here is the cold, hard reality of it. For every 100 people that hear this message, 99 will get a little jolt of inspiration. They might feel fired up for a day or two. And then life goes back to normal. But one person, one, will hear this, and it will feel like they're finally hearing their own thoughts spoken out loud. That one person will live it because they already are.
Look, let's be totally honest. This path is not for everyone, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Being good is an achievement. Being great is a phenomenal achievement. But if you're one of those people with that little fire in your gut that just never goes out, if you have a hunger for something more that never seems to be satisfied, then you already know the answer, don't you? The only question left is, what does that hunger inside you say?